Hi, Nurse. I'm gonna stop you right there because you're on mute. I think you're gonna say this in the
Oh my
first
God.
question,
Thank you
right?
so much. Thank you so much for saving me, Alara. She's our CMO. So give it up for Alara, people, because she has just saved my life. I was on mute and I had no idea. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to continue doing the same thing and talking about our topic. Now, imagine what we could do with what that time if we had the right tools. Okay, firstly, I want to go back and tell you what I started with. Let's kick things off with something that might surprise you. The average employee spends over 20 hours every month creating presentations, and that's nearly 3 full workdays. And most of that time is spent on formatting slides, hunting down visuals, and struggling to organize thoughts into something that makes sense. Now, imagine what we could do with that time if we had the right tools, tools that help us skip the grunt work and focus on what really matters, the story, the strategy, and the impact. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today, how AI tools like Dectopus are transforming the way we work. This session is all about answering a big question. Why is integrating AI into the workplace crucial for modern businesses? As industries move faster and competition gets tougher, businesses need to become more efficient, more innovative, and more persuasive, and presentations sit at the very heart of that. Which brings to our main topic today. Why do presentations matter more than ever in today's business world? Whether you're pitching investors, onboarding teams, or selling a vision, presentations are where your ideas meet their audience. And the difference between a good one and a great one, it can change the outcome entirely. And now I'm going to show you the real deal, our guests. Just a minute. I'm sorry. All right. I think there's something. Okay. All right. Let me introduce the amazing minds joining us today for this conversation. Noyan Alperan Idin, the CEO of Dectopus AI, bringing a leadership and business strategy perspective. Alara Akças says you just met her because she saved me while I was on mute. She is our CMO here to discuss the marketing and communication side of things. And of course, we're very excited to have our guest, Dennis Panjuta, an AI educator and expert who is helping people understand and apply AI tools in very practical ways. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dennis. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your tutorials, and your own brand, AI Dennis?
All right. Thank you very much for having me, first of all. So yeah, about myself. So I've been educating people since 2012. First, I started with coding education. I created coding video courses, and that was my thesis about as well. So I started with Java, and then I went over multiple programming languages over the years. And then came ChatGPT. And that changed quite a bit. So it really changed the entire way I was thinking about my job, about education, about everything. And that's when I saw that the development was faster than I anticipated, because I was using GPT-3 before ChatGPT came out, and it was pretty impressive already, but it was far away from being good enough to be used on a daily basis. And then ChatGPT came out half a year later, and I thought, okay, with this speed, I will be out of a job if I don't reinvent myself, which is what I then did. And I started to educate people on AI. And that's what I have been doing for the last 1.5 years on LinkedIn now, and also creating video courses on the topic. So yeah, like education is really what I am passionate about and what I love. And that's why it's so cool that I, on one hand, can educate about AI, and at the same time, I can use AI in order to educate about AI and become a lot more efficient doing so. So that's pretty cool.
I think what you're doing is pretty amazing because AI is just very new in our lives, and we all have I mean, we all need some tutor, some kind of tutor to lead us the way. And that's very important because AI is the hit right now in the world. So I think what you're doing is amazing. Okay, let's kick things off with something light and a bit fun because we've all been there, I believe. What is the worst presentation experience you've ever had? Maybe a slide deck that wouldn't load, a cringe moment, or a super awkward pitch. Who wants to go first? Dennis, would you like to start or maybe think about it for a while?
Well, I can start. For me, like my worst experience, so to speak, was when I had to create a presentation. That was during my first job. It was also more than 10 years ago, and I had this presentation that I would deliver in front of the whole team. It was like 50-ish people, roughly, and I took a topic that I was very interested in, but I had no idea about. So my challenge was to create this presentation out of the blue without any experience, but then deliver something meaningful to a big audience that where this could have a big impact on my career. And that was pretty much like looking at it from today's perspective, like how easy it is to get the information, to build out a presentation that has a high quality, where you can not only deliver some meaningless bullet points, but actually have a deep insight as to what the presentation is about and what the actual topic is. I think that was like my worst presentation experience in the past, of not having that and like really having to research everything from scratch and still being unsure whether what I was saying was right or not. So yeah, I think that was like the biggest pain.
I totally get where you're coming from because right now people are so lucky to have AI in their lives. And back then we didn't. So it makes a huge difference, I guess. It's a total game changer. And now back to you, Alara. What was your worst presentation experience?
Okay, I had a lot of very bad experience actually back when I was a student, but I want to share something different for this purpose. It's basically after COVID hit the world, when you remember that everyone was in their home doing everything on computer, and for example, Zoom entered our lives. And it was one of the time when I had to do a presentation online, which is I'm not very, experienced at because I was doing it on stage all the time. I had to share my screen. I did all the, I allow my computer to share my screen, etc. And then I shared the screen where I talk with my friend, and it was a chat message, and we were talking about people that are watching my presentation. It was a very huge disappointment for me because I spilled all the tea to everyone watching. I mean, it's not like a soft thing to share, but it was kind of a, scary moment for me. And from that moment, I always double check which screen I'm sharing, kind of thing, and close all the windows before every presentation.
Yeah, I think it's something really common that people experience back in their first presentation days. This is something I quite hear a lot. And when we're talking about it right now, it feels really funny and you laugh about it. But when you go back to that moment, it's really stinky. So I really don't want to remember that. So I totally get where you're coming from. And this is your turn right now, Noyan. And what is your worst presentation experience?
By the way, I also closed, even today, I closed all the windows. Even I won't share any screen, but it is automatically happens right now because it is really worst, I think, to share the wrong screen. And also, I really don't remember before what we were doing before AI. So it is really in our lives. So it is really hard to remember how was it. My worst presentation. It was in the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, probably in the beginning of 2019 or 2020. Before the Eclipse AI, by the way, I built 2 startups in my college years. So I had a little bit experience on startups. After that, we started on Dectopus. So people always invite some events to talk about my entrepreneurship journey, etc. So this was one of the invitations. So actually, I already had my presentation kind of. So most of the time I edit some part of the presentation, but mostly it is ready. So it is the story of my entrepreneurship actually. So I went the area, and I didn't know that the event area was in a very public area, and it was in a very big area. So the presentation area, it was kind of near the street, and people were passing by, and if they were interested in, then they were attending the event. So I didn't know about this. And when I started to talk about my entrepreneurship journey, so the slides, etc., I see that people are like, for example, young students and also old people and different backgrounds, etc. And after 1 minute, probably, people started to leave from the event, and it was really worst. I felt too bad because probably people were here because they wanted to see something maybe interactive, maybe fun, or some maybe visual show, because they were not in the AI fields, they were not in the business field, not exactly entrepreneur, etc. So it was worst. When I finished my presentation, there were only a couple of people in the event, people who really interested in entrepreneurship story, but it was worst. So I learned that I had to check audience and my content, so there should be a strong fit, otherwise it is really worst. So this was my one of the worst presentations.
I think that was a very visionary presentation topic, but back then maybe people weren't so interested, or I don't know, so hyped about it, because they were just looking for something more fun, more teenager kind of things. But I'm sure if they ran into some kind of presentation like that right now, they would definitely listen, because you have to learn about AI and technology in this age. So I think it's really important. And
In
when it comes
situations
to
like, sorry, in situations
sorry,
like this, I really like to use this analogy of Sprite and water. So Sprite is a really nice drink, right? It's sweet, it's great, and all of that.
yeah.
But then when you are eager to drink water and you take this glass, which is full of water, you think, but it's actually Sprite, and you drink it, even though you love Sprite, in this moment, you wouldn't love it. You would actually think, yeah, it's not great, because your expectation was that it's water. So probably it was a similar situation here, where you were like presenting and people were expecting water, but they got Sprite.
Exactly. I think today, even today, if
Exactly.
the audience
Just the
was
right
them,
kind of example.
probably they would again leave the room, because they are not interested in the story, and they are not looking for that kind of story. That's why there is no audience content fit. And it is understandable, by the way. I'm not angry too much, so I can understand.
Just a little, maybe. Okay. Now it's my turn, I guess. Okay, my worst presentation experience was hands down the day I had to present in our dean's mandatory class. The one everyone takes super seriously. And I had prepared for it so hard. Slides were perfect. My notes were ready. Outfit on point. I was ready to crush it. And then right in the middle of my serious intro, my phone goes off. And not just a buzz, it starts ringing Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen, full volume, echoing through the room. Everyone turned to me, of course. I was completely red to my ears because it was so cringe, and my hands were shaking to shut it off. And the worst part is, the dean was just slowly raising an eyebrow at me, and I've never put my phone on silent so fast and hard ever in my life. Yeah. Okay, and that was my worst experience. By the way, everybody, before we dive any deeper into our topic, please do not forget we have a special 30% discount code just for you today. And it is 30 webinar. It's only valid during this live session and maybe a couple more hours after it. So make sure you grab it while it's still available. It's very important. It's a great deal. Okay, in today's fast-paced business environment, impactful presentations are more important than ever, as we all know. But creating them has always been a challenge. But the good news is AI is changing the game. I really wish we had Dectopus back then when I was a student. It would change a lot of things for my end. Okay, Dennis, from your perspective as someone who teaches AI and helps others apply it practically, how do you see AI tools transforming the way people approach presentations, especially those who don't come from a design or tech background? What excites you most about where this is headed?
Well, the thing is, presentations, they are basically two components, right? It's the content and it's the visuals.
Yeah.
And if you are great at design, you still have to do the research. If you are not great at design, but great at research, then your design will probably be not great. And visuals are really what makes the difference between looking at a presentation and like being more focused or like being more interested in what's going on, rather than having like a presentation full of text, which like many people still do. I'm very surprised about that. But using AI for that really is a huge help, because on one hand, it helps you to find out what the overall storyline should be, like what kind of path should you choose for delivering the presentation, because it's not just about delivering the facts in many cases. It's about delivering something where the main points that you want to bring across, they stick into people's minds after, right? And that's something that you would otherwise have to think very long about. And now with AI, you can just say, hey, I'm really looking for like what's important for me is to have these 3 points stick in people's head after the presentation. How can we craft the presentation around that? And then AI can help you with that. And obviously, Dectopus, for example, can help you with the design and filling out the blanks, right? Because in the end, obviously, you can have a skeleton,
Exactly.
but you also need a little bit of meat, right? Otherwise, or muscle. Otherwise, there's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you have a little skeleton running
Yeah,
around.
you put that really beautifully, by the way. Exactly.
Thanks.
Okay, I'd like to ask the same question to you as well, Noyan. Where do you think this is headed, and how do you see AI tools transforming the way we all approach presentations?
I think our guest is, I explained it very well. So I 100% agree with him. And actually, this is why we started Tectopus in the beginning of the journey. Um, so uh, if you, let's say you know the content very well, you are the expert in this field, but if you cannot deliver the message, so the audience won't understand you,
Yeah.
even they won't listen you. So that's why they won't understand you. So it is important to make it visually appealing. And also if you just make it very beautiful, for example, you can hire a designer and you can get a very good presentation, for example, but if you cannot deliver the message, again, because you are the presenter, so you cannot get what you are looking for, it is really important to merge them together. You need to know your content and your domain, your field, and also it needs to be delivered in a visually appealing way. In this way, people can continue to listen to you while they're trying to understand what you are saying. If you cannot deliver it very well, then either they will stop listening to you, or even then they will think that you don't know too much about the topic. So I think it is important to merge them. And AI tools like Dictopus, we help people to merge them together right now, because AI and these LLMs have a lot of information about presentation. And if we, for example, in Dectopus, we train it to give a good presentation. In this way, AI helps you to combine them together and get what you are looking for at the end of the presentation. So I think it is transforming it in a good way, and it is transforming it very fast way. I think it is developing too fast. So I really cannot believe the speed of this evaluation, but yeah, so it's very cool.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Thank you so much for your answer, Noyan. And what do you think about that, Alara?
Yeah, I actually want to approach it as a marketing perspective because, I've been in this company for about 4.5 years, I guess, and I was here before AI. Dectopus doesn't have an AI feature when I arrived. And, in marketing, we always search for, our personas' pain points. We focus on their feelings rather than features. And as what I see before AI, when you say presentation to, for example, a business professional or a student, what they hear was, stage fright, and some, the deadlines, and doesn't know where to start, doesn't know which template to pick from Google, etc. Those kind of overwhelming feelings. And when you think of it right now, after the age of AI, they generally don't think about how they're going to do the task in the end and if they're going to meet the deadline or not. Right now, the only issue people are having, I guess, is the design and the depth of the presentation. But as the way I see it, I collect user feedback all the time from our users, from our, happy and unhappy customers. And there's something very interesting for me. I don't know if it's a good thing, but as the marketing team, it's kind of not a good thing because when I talk with business professionals that are using Dactopus, the goal in marketing world is to create the word of mouth. We treat personal clients like business professionals using it personally as B2B to C. And what this means, when we impress that client, we expect them to refer our product to their team, to their company. But right now, our users doesn't refer us to their teams because they're using Dactopus as a secret weapon. They don't want people and their teammates to know that they created this whole presentation with AI, and they kind of, do their,
Don't tell anyone.
yeah, don't tell anyone kind
Mm.
of approach. And it's kind of good because they get what they expected and they brag about it, but also not good because they don't want to speak so loud about it. Because, in business world, these kind of tasks where you have to be professional are, kind of things that you shouldn't use AI, and you should be using your information, your own profession, your own experience. I think we're gonna, pass that thing in very near future because, I mean, everyone right now, every probably manager wants their team to use AI to, keep the cash flow going. But right now, I see this little hesitant behavior, just a different perspective for me.
The secret weapon.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's just because, yes, it's a secret weapon because people want everyone to think that, I made this. Look at the design, look at the font, look at the colors, look at the theme, the template. I did it all. I mean, it's something new and I really worked hard on it, like hours maybe. But it's effortless and, people just want to take the credit maybe. And I understand what you're coming from, definitely. Okay. And the next question is for Noyan first, and then I'm going to ask all of you as well. How do AI tools help you skip the start from scratch phase and jump straight into creating impactful presentations?
This is a good question. Before AI, to prepare a good presentation, before the designing part, we had to create the entire content. So first of all, outline probably, and then some bullet points for each outline item. Then we needed to make some research and making a lot of things. Then after we complete the outline, we had to make them beautiful. So it was the hard part, one of the hard part as well. So I was using Google Slides before Desktop AI, so back in my college years. So unfortunately, I had to create a blank screen, and then I had to make each slide one by one. And I think they weren't looking good. I think too much. So because I'm not a professional designer as well, so I think this was taking too much time, as well as the researching and preparing slide content as well. After AI, for example, with Dectopus, let's say you need to create a presentation, and let's say you work in a corporate business. So that means that you have to use your brand guidelines, branding assets, etc., to create the presentation. And most of the time, people either don't want to use the branding or they forget it. I don't know. So in this way, they prepare something from by trusting their design abilities, maybe. But this is not something wanted by the business. So you have to put everything together, and you need to design them to all together. So it takes too much time. With AI, for example, in Dectopus, for the corporate companies can have their brand guidelines in Dectopus. So we have a screen called, we call it Decto GPT. So in Decto GPT screen, you basically put all your information together. I mentioned about the topic, outline, content, etc. Basically, you just brain dump all the things you have in your mind, and then you click the generate button first. Then it does exactly what I told you. It creates the outline and bullet points for each outline item. Basically, it organizes your brain dump into a good presentation structure by using storytelling techniques, etc. And then after it generates the initial version, you can continue to chat with the Decto GPT. For example, make it more fun, or you can say, tell about this story as well, or you can say regenerate this section, etc. Basically, you start chatting with the Decto GPT to refine your presentation outline. Once your presentation outline is okay, so every slide content is good looking for you, and there is no visual, by the way, only bullet points and slide topics, and then you click generate presentation button, and it uses your brand guideline to generate that presentation in 20 seconds. So probably it would take at least couple of hours, I think more than a couple of hours. You can create the entire presentation by using exact brand guideline, probably less than 15 minutes. So I think this is a huge thing, and that's why I'm saying I really don't know what we were doing before AI era. It is
Exactly.
too much inefficiency, and this is what our clients tell me. So especially the decision makers come to me, and I want my team become more efficient. So can we use Dectopus for this? And I say yes, of course. And then this is the main challenge in the world. And but the good part is right now businesses are trying to acquire this technology to increase efficiency. And I think this is helpful to use AI technology to increase efficiency as well. So, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. What do you think about that, Dennis?
So coming back to the initial question, because I think you answered like a whole set of questions with what you said. So the start from scratch phase to jump straight into creating impactful presentation. So that is something where I think is like the thought behind how to build out, how to structure everything. That is usually it took really long, because you needed to really think hard, and you needed to not just have the final idea in mind, but really like structure it out. And this sitting in front of a blank paper, that's really the toughest part, because you don't know where to go from there and what to do first. Do you first do the design? Do you first do the structure? And everybody found their own ways to do it, right? And I mean, I delivered presentations with black and white and just texts. Like I did that in the past, even though there were some like minor images in between. And it still worked, right? It depends on how you deliver the presentation. If you deliver it well, it doesn't matter too much. Like if you are the point of attention and not the presentation itself, and it's like you and how you deliver the content, I mean, this is still an important aspect, no matter how good the AI is going to be. But coming back to like this from scratch phase, I think like just creating the outline with one button click, and then it even looking nice with all the images added and all of that. So I think this is really the most impactful thing, because it's not just the slides, it's the flow. As I said earlier, you can create an easy, nice looking flow that is easy to consume, and also start with a hook, right? So when you have a presentation, if you lose people at the start of the presentation, it's really hard to get them back. So you need to find the hook straight from the start, and finding the right hook is something where AI can help you with as well. So it's not you sitting there for half an hour thinking about what would be the best hook, but you just ask, hey, what would be 10 great hooks? And then you think about the 10 hooks that we were given, and you just decide for the one that feels the best. And this takes 1 minute, right? And you already saved a lot of like hard work, because thinking is really hard work. And so yeah, like this is mainly how I think they help you with the flow, the structure, the hook, and then obviously with the visuals, like the images, like just adding images was taking so long. You had to search for images, then you had to
With
be
the help
careful
of
with
AI.
right. Yeah, like you had to have usage rights to the images, or you were violating them, which like nobody cared about. But still, like now you can just press a button and it just generates the images for you. Yeah, like it's pretty cool.
I think we all can relate to the feeling of helplessness back then at our time, like in school, maybe at work, I don't know, but I have experienced it very, very deeply, whether it be Google Sheets or, I don't know, PowerPoint. We all experience the same thing. We have a blank canvas in front of us and we don't know where to start from. So I think AI really, really helped us in this aspect. And thank you so much for your answer, by the way, Dennis. I 100% agree with you. Now, my next question is for our CMO, Alara. Alara, from a marketing perspective, how has AI helped you streamline your message and connect better with specific audiences?
Yeah. Actually, this is a very good question because it relates with how we should be doing presentations. As Dennis said, actually, you need to hook the audience from start. And to hook the audience, actually, you need to know your audience. So we use AI in our marketing team very frequently. Like, I treat AI like my mini me, like my clone, because it knows so many things about me. And I generally, when I start a marketing campaign, either it's an ad set, or either it's just a proposal that we're sending to a client, or maybe an email sequence, I start with this simple prompt. Okay, this is who I'm talking to, their demographics, technographics, what they do as a business, and their job title, etc., etc. Even I add their age, because age has a lot of impact on how we use technology these days. And I ask AI to tell me 50 pain points about specific topics, so that I can understand what kind of pains they have. Because if I don't do that, I assume they have some problem. And while I try to message the solution I have to them, sometimes I skip that they don't have that much of a problem. So in this aspect, AI has helped our team very much. And in terms of presentations, we do this test in Dactopus. You have a tab full of AI assistance use cases. One of them is to create create a slide with AI, for example, and one of them is smart slide tips and Q&A questions. When we create this feature, we had some kind of storytelling techniques in mind. And after developing the feature and before making it live, we made sure that AI understands the audience. When we give it a prompt, like saying, okay, I'm going to deliver this presentation in front of a blind audience. So after that, we asked AI to generate tips for us. And AI actually said, okay, even though they are blind and they can't see you, make sure you have eye contact with them, because it will make your sound and your excitement to across the room. So it was very interesting, not only in terms of message, and it was also giving me tips in terms of my way of talking and my presence in the room. So it was also another interesting use case.
Yeah, from a marketing view, I definitely, in being in a marketing team, I can definitely understand how we really, really need it. And I don't know what we would do without it, seriously. And what do you think about that, Dennis? How do you think has AI helped you streamline your message and connect better with specific audiences in your own perfect case?
Well, the thing is, my experience is that using ChatGPT and other tools to learn more about your audience is a great starting point. But in the end, it's really like you have to talk to the people itself. Like when you talk to people directly, you will find out a lot more about their actual pain points that sometimes are different to like the general audience that AI is recommending to you. But especially the ones you need to talk to the people that are most likely to buy your product. That's my experience, right? So if you talk to the people who already bought your product, they are the perfect target audience because they already bought it, right? So if you talk to those people and you find out what their problems are, what they like, what their thoughts are, and why they bought the product, and so forth, I think that's the ideal starting point for like the marketing message and so forth. So for me, having tried many different audiences in the past, like going to more technical people, then going to the average office worker and stuff. My experience is that what's important is to use AI to help you start, then gather data, and after you got the data, then you can use that data with the help of AI to analyze it properly. So for example, what I love doing is to create a custom GPT that has information about my, as much information as possible about my business, about the different content pieces, how well they performed. And for example, even with emails that I've sent out, with the A/B test that I did, and then so that it knows which emails perform, like which headlines perform best, and so forth. And then also details about the customers themselves, like when their title, potentially like their description, if they had that in a tool that I was using. And that then really helps to create a clearer message for your marketing. And it's so incredible that just swapping one simple word within a whole sentence, one word, can make the difference between a conversion rate of like 1.5 and 7%. And it's just one word. And you're like, wow, how is that possible? But coming up with that word, that's also where AI can help. So I really love, as you said earlier, like using AI like your mini me, helping you out at every single step. And I think this will grow even further in this direction. Like we will be drastically guided through AI, but I really hope that we don't forget to use our own brains, because that will be super crucial, because otherwise it will all become generic in the future. So we still need to use our own heads, our own expertise, our own experience of talking to people, and not just using whatever we got from the AI itself. And finding out what real people really think.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the perks of AI because it is 100% personal, you can personalize it 100% according to you, and it can answer accordingly based on the info that you provide it with. So it's like an assistant, or like Alara said, a mini you, because it knows everything about you and exactly knows how to respond tailored exactly to you. So I definitely agree with your answer also. Okay, before we end our broadcast and ask the last question, I would like to remind you, a reminder again for everyone tuning in. You can still use the code 30webinar for 30% off of Dectopus for a very short while. And now our closing question, guys, our last question. What is the one key takeaway you want people to remember from today, this webinar, and anything else you'd like to add that you didn't get the chance to tell me before? Sorry, who'd like to answer first?
I can go
Then
first.
it's just,
Yeah,
would you
I
like
can go
to?
first.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. So one takeaway only, right? So I would say everybody is using their time, and most of us work 40 hours a week, right? And very often it's about optimizing how you spend your time. And if you can save a lot of hours by using the right tools for the right task, I think it's absolutely abysmal not to do it. You have to do it. And if you have if you're creating a lot of presentations, you should definitely check out, for example, Dectopus, and see how it can help you saving loads of time. And also, just check out how long it takes you in comparison. Check out the quality that you get and make adjustments. Still use your own brain. Never forget to use your brain, because if everyone is just trusting AI, as I said, we're just going to have like fully trusting without thinking, without double checking, without bringing in your own essence and your own thoughts and experience into it. Then we would end up with a very generic world, and I wouldn't want that to happen. But yeah, that's my key takeaway that I would love you to have based on this conversation that we had here.
Actually,
I
that
would
could
like
be
to
my favorite line in this webinar. Go ahead. Sorry.
please go ahead, Ursa. I didn't hear you start talking.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to say, I think that was probably my favorite line ever throughout this webinar. Do not forget that that is AI, and you have your own essence to contribute. We really shouldn't forget that AI is just an assistant and a helper, and I don't want to forget doing some certain things just because AI is there to help me. So that was what I wanted to say. Go ahead, Nayan, please.
I think there is a big debate on future of AI. I think there are two certain sides. One of them are pessimists about future of AI. One of them are optimists about AI. I'm on the optimistic side. I really believe that AI will improve probably more faster than this because we see the AI thing is the history of AI. I mean, ChatGPT and generative AI. 2.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, it started, and it is developing too fast. Right now, yes, AI is generic, and you have to put your essence, of course, for today's technology. But maybe next year, I don't know. Maybe the AI will be better than you being you. So maybe I don't know. I see that some people really are afraid of AI, or they are just not using it enough. I think one thing is sure: if you don't use AI, you will lose. So one takeaway probably you should, no, you should, you must go all in and learn about AI. not only presentations. Of course, Dectopus is one of the probably best presentation tools. Not only Dectopus, search about all other products as well. I think the essence of understanding it, researching a lot. We have to research about it to understand it. So research about presentation tools, research about I don't know, automation tools, whatever your industry is, teaching maybe, I don't know. So I think you have to, everybody, embrace it and start using it immediately if still people are not using it. So my biggest takeaway would be this. Thank you.
Okay, I
I
guess it's
definitely
my
agree.
turn.
If you're not using AI, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, we're overlapping all the time. So I don't know if this is a takeaway, but in general, I think when a new technology arrives in any industry, we should be able to understand and learn it with using resources or with our own effort. And I think, for example, let's talk about Dennis. AI is relatively new to everyone, not just scientists. And, he already starts teaching it, So he's the biggest, like, early adapter. So my advice to people about AI is to get surrounded with early adapters. I remember seeing Dennis's account, and we were looking for some different collaborators that would collaborate with us. And I remember one of his posts, he, shared a cheat sheet kind of post about AI, and I said, okay, this is the guy, and we should get his attention to Dectopus and make him try to see his point of view. So my biggest advice to people to get surrounded with people that knows AI, because typing do this to AI right now is not enough to get good result, and you need to know how to type things, ask AI to do things. And this was the key takeaway, and I have two more things to say. One of them is to tell all of our viewers and to people who are going to watch this after the webinar is that we conduct a research every year as Dactopus, and this research is about people's behavior about presentations, how frequently you're doing it, are you starting from scratch or are you duplicating an old content kind of thing. It would be amazing if anyone could give an insight about this so that we can perform better. It would be posted in our LinkedIn posts in the comment section. The second thing I want to mention is that follow Dennis, because he shared all of the useful information around AI, and especially as a business person, you can get a lot of information from him. And I want to say one last key takeaway: don't forget to unmute when you start a webinar.
Full circle.
Exactly. That could be one of my worst moments. I mean, added to my worst moments when it comes to webinars or presentations, because I was so confident and, doing the talking and everything, only to realize that I was on mute. This is definitely one of my worst moments. So I would like to thank my savior and CMO, Alara, again. Thank you so much for doing this. Okay. This actually has been a really valuable session, and it was really, really fun. I really had no notion of time during this webinar. So thank you so much, Dennis, for joining us, being here, Noyan and Alara, and everyone who joined us here today. Your time, insights, and energy made this such a powerful conversation, of course, along with my speaking on mute. I hope you feel the same. And our last reminder, I know I reminded you this a lot, but please don't forget that our 30% discount code 30 webinar is still available, but just for a short while longer, for about 5 hours. You can see it at the checkout and use it on our website. So if you're ready to revolutionize your presentation process, just like Noyan, Alara, and Dennis did, Now is the perfect time. If you're ready to save time, elevate your slides, and embrace the future of presentations, Dectopus AI is here for you. We make it easy, fast, and effective. And thank you so much again, guys, for being with us all. You take care, keep creating, and until next time, goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
See you all.
Goodbye.